A bit late. We promised to go fast now. So we'll call the meeting to order. Welcome, everyone, and the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Mr. Jimmy Gow.
Hand over your heart, and if you're veteran, you can salute. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a real chair again. That's good.
Oh, it's a new chair.
Yes.
Oh, the new chair.
Yeah, I'm not in the kids' chair anymore. That's it. I need a motion to adopt the agenda.
Excuse me, Mr. President.
Oh, that's right. Dr. Manning has some corrections.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I'd like to point out to the board that item number 10.3 for some technology reason, which we don't understand, board policy BP 6175, board bylaw 9322 and 9324 were not a part of the attachment. However, they were a part of the matrix. So those policies are sitting in front of you at your spot, and there are 10 for members of the public. And with that piece of information, I request the agenda be approved.
Motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. No report out of closed session items. Staff presentations and information. I will call on Dr. Stowe for item number 8.1.
Thank you, Mr. Lee, members of the board. We have with us our accountant from Nigro & Nigro, who did the audit report for 5 different things. One is our general fund, and then the 4 bond measures. And so he is going to now report on to the board as required under the law, and as promised to keep it short for you.
Good evening, Mr. Lee, President Lee, members of the board, Dr. Manna, and cabinet, and large audience. And as promised, I will keep it brief. So as required, we conducted the audit of the school district financial reports for 17-18, and we have rendered a unmodified opinion. So the roles that are really described in what the district receives in an audit. Independent audit that is required annually for the district, and the district presents its financial statements, and then we as the audit firm come in and render an opinion on whether those are materially accurate. So we're happy to report that that is the case. So in our opinion, that the financial statements, we can report that they're unmodified, which is the highest really opinion that we can give on the financial statements. So as you peruse the financial statements, not only can the board and members of the community and other stakeholders have confidence that the financial position of the district is fairly stated. So I will pretty much leave it at that as far as the financial statements go. You can look in the trends section of the report, and you can see the various position of the district, that indeed the general fund position of the district is within the allowed 3% that the state recommends. That is the amount that's in reserves that can handle the expenditures of the district. And for 2018, the available reserves were in excess of 10% in the general fund. So that's certainly a better than 3%, which is the recommended by the state. The findings and recommendations are also in the back of the district report, so those are there for review. Those are involving some recommendations for your associated student body funds, and also some district expenditures and things along those lines. So again, that's in the back of the school district audit. We had 4 additional reports, as was mentioned. Those are the bond measures T, U, Y, and Z. And in all those cases, those were also fairly stated. A bond audit involves some additional measures and steps in addition to the financial statement piece. And those are performance measures that we have to measure, if you will, against really the things like contracts, expenditures. We measure those against the bond measure as it was approved by the taxpayers. So we evaluate those. We visit various sites. We make sure that the expenses are truly being used for school district assets as approved by the taxpayers back when those bond measures were passed. So again, in summary, all five audit reports were unmodified and were filed with the State Controller's Office, the Federal Clearinghouse, and also the county office within the prescribed time in December. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to take those.
Any questions from the board? Well, then, thank you very much, and we'll see you again next year.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Okay, 8.2, report from the Torrance Education Foundation.
Good evening, Mr. Lee and everyone. I want to start by harking back for a moment, although it feels like ancient history now, but harking back to October and let everyone know that the participation of our walking teams in the Skechers Walk on October 28th resulted in a $218,000 grant to the Ed Foundation from Skechers. We were notified of this a couple weeks ago. So again, even though it was several months ago, I want to say thank you to everybody at all of our schools and all of our families and everyone else who signed up to walk for a Torrance Unified team in the Skechers Walk. I want everyone to know as well that those who designated their membership as part of a walking team brought funds directly back to their school. So $90,000 of that $218,000 has already been distributed to our schools to support the walkers who signed up and were fundraising for priorities at the individual campuses. So, good news, and mark your calendar for October 29th of 2019, because the next one's coming, and there's still room for growth. Our South Bay and Richmond Academy registrations are all open. Last month I told you that the high schools had opened and that middle school and elementary school would be opening soon. Well, that has taken place, so families are encouraged to go to the Torrance Education Foundation website at tef4kids.org and look for South Bay and Richmond Academy and sign their kids up for our summer school. Mornings are classroom work, and then for middle school and elementary school in the afternoons, we have a more recreational but still educational opportunity for kids to be active in the afternoon. And our GATE program is also open for registration. Right now, we are in car raffle mode. So all of our campuses have a TUSD ambassador, one of our teachers. In most cases, it's one of our teachers. Sometimes it's an administrator in the office who is equipped with car raffle tickets. Then you may buy them, and they are $30. Someone will win a beautiful Lexus hybrid SUV on May 4th. Because we continue to have a warm and supportive relationship from Toyota. $20 of every $30 ticket may be designated to support an individual school. So $10 comes back to TEF if there's a designation, but $20 will go back to the club or the school itself or a teacher's classroom on any of our school sites. So buy your ticket, designate if you so choose, and we hope you'll help us make a big success. This year, the vehicle is, as I said, a Lexus, a silver Lexus, because it's our silver anniversary. So there you go. We're also going to be hosting our silver anniversary party. Our gala comes up on May 4th when we will draw the winner for the car, but we also have auction opportunities, and we're very eager to invite our community, any businesses in our community who might like to make a donation to our auction to help us raise funds on the night of the event. We encourage you to contact us at our website or call our office. And thank you in advance if you choose to do so. Thank you. And we certainly invite everyone to consider coming to the event. The ticket prices are $150 per person. You'll have a delicious three-course gourmet meal and a lot of fun celebrating the activities of Torrance Education Foundation for the past 25 years in this community. Lastly, about the gala, I want to say that we often, not always, but often present the James R. Armstrong Community Leadership Award. Everyone here, I think, knows, or maybe those in the audience might not, Jim Armstrong was a teacher at Torrance High School for more than 3 decades, teaching government and civics, and then he was elected to city council and became mayor of Torrance for 2 terms. He's the epitome of public service and good community leadership, so we often bestow an award in his name at our annual gala. Our honoree this year will be Superintendent Dr. George Mannon. So, last but not least, I'd like to extend a note of thanks to Mr. Lee for introducing me and the foundation to a community organization, the Saris Regis Group, which has just made a $10,000 contribution to support our science labs effort. So, thank you, Mr. Lee, for that introduction, and thank you to Saris Regis Group, which is the company that purchased the Toyota site. So we're very grateful to them for supporting us and our community and our students even before they're here doing business. So, thanks very much. Any questions I can answer?
$20,000, so yes.
A total of 20. They gave us 10,000 last year as well. Yes.
You know,
Mrs. Lee, Mrs. Liu? Yeah, and Lou, get my right vowel in there.
You said you have any questions. I was wondering if steak and lobster will be served again at the foundation dinner?
Well, you could take that up with our dinner co-chairs, Mary Hoffman and Terry Fury, who have not determined what the menu will be yet. It will be delicious,
it'll be
but can't
close.
guarantee.
It'll be shrimp and chicken. It's still surf and turf, it's just different surf and different turf.
We'll see.
But, yes.
Thank you.
Just who's got tickets to sell?
Oh, Mrs. Reagans has tickets on
I'll
hand.
buy
Car
one from
raffle
you and
tickets.
one from
Okay,
you.
good.
I'm done. Okay, good. I got that handled. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you.
For the hot car.
Yay. Torrance Council of PTAs, and that.
Good evening. I'm going to make this quick. I just want to remind everybody about our college and career fair coming up at West High this Saturday. It's a big deal. Our amazing committees worked months and months and months. It's been a collaborative effort between TUSD and all 4 of our high schools, and they've poured a lot of love into this. There'll be something on the order of 80 representatives from large and small universities, both near and far, military, trade schools. I think we've got a couple of culinary and art schools. It's just going to be awesome. And then it's 3 hours essentially of just back-to-back workshops on all things college and career. So we've also expanded the workshops to include things for middle school students, because we know that, well before you're in high school, actually, you're kind of on that path, or at least thinking about what comes next. So I hope you guys will attend. You can find our information on our Facebook page, Torrance Council of PTAs, and our website, torrancecouncilofptas.org. And that'll be West High, 11 to 2 p.m. Bring your friends. It's going to be awesome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Egan, can you introduce the student rep?
Be happy to. I'd like to introduce Jason Tinty, ASB President at West High School. Prior to West, Jason attended Towers Elementary and Burt Lynn Middle School. He's been in CSF since his freshman year and spent many hours volunteering. He has a 4.0 GPA. Jason has been a member of West High's ASB for 3 years, positions including freshman class president and sophomore class president, of course, now ASB president. He has spent his years dedicating himself to his academics and extracurriculars, including soccer and volleyball. Please welcome Jason Tinty.
Good evening, President Lee, TUSD School Board, Cabinet, and guests. My name is Jason Tinty, and I'm the student representative from West High School. Tonight, I'm presenting you with current events at West High. In the 2018-2019 school year, our student body has shown to be very successful and more involved than previous years. This year, we have seen many accomplishments from our school's competitive teams. 2 weeks ago, our academic decathlon team won first in the LA County and is now advancing to state. This past weekend, our girls' varsity water polo team came in second at CIF finals, a school first. 2 wrestlers placed fourth in CIF and are heading on to state, and our boys' varsity soccer team won the CIF semifinals game and are heading to the finals this Saturday. We began this month by wrapping up our first semester and recognizing our counselors by decorating their workspace for National School Counseling Week. For the amount of work that they do for us, it is the least we could do to make sure that they know we appreciate them. In this month of celebrating culture, we put on our annual Multicultural Day Assembly. This assembly consisted of all 8 of our culture clubs creating performances for their peers to watch. For Valentine's Day, we created a wall that was made up of hearts with uplifting messages written by students to promote school unity. We like to call it the Wall of Love. Currently on campus, we have been promoting the TUSD Joint Dance Show that is happening this week at the Armstrong Theater to not only support our school's dance department, but to support all of the Torrance dance departments as a community. This Friday, we have our talent show, which gives students a platform to express themselves and share their talents to the community. Following that, on Saturday, we are proud to be hosting the TUSD-TCPTSA College Fair this Saturday in our newly modernized gymnasium. In the near future, our school student body will be putting on a fine arts assembly, which consists of all the arts on campus performing and showing off their talents in front of peers. Following that, we have our spring sports rally, which recognizes our spring sports and as well as promote school spirit through fun competition with classes. We wish, as we prepare for our WASC accreditation, we wish to support our students through their academic journey as well as creating events and activities which excite them through their 4 years at West High. Thank you for this time. Thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you very much. We say this, and Jason, you're more than welcome. You may have to nudge the guy to your right, but that's okay. But you're more than welcome if we're talking about something and you want to interject, you're more than welcome to. Yeah, he looks terrified, so that'll never happen. So that's okay. You can. You would be exactly the first, but you can. No, we had one person. Yeah, okay, good. Anyway, so I don't think we're that terrifying, but that's okay. And then introduction of Good News student presentation. We'll start with Dr. Kim.
Thank you, President Lee. It's my pleasure to introduce one of our student leaders from Victor Elementary School, Isabella Ararujo. Can you please come up? Let's give her a big round of applause, everybody. Also joining us tonight is the principal of Victor Elementary School, Mr. Bill Baker, and assistant principal Jenny Taylor.
Hello, my name is Isabella Araújo, and I attend Victor Elementary School in Torrance. At Victor Elementary, teachers strive to provide the best education while creating a positive learning environment. We have great programs like the Victor Color Run, the Science Lab, and Adventures in Art. But one of the most recent, and a program that I happen to be very proud of, is a program called Making Waves, Creating a Significant Impression. It was created by Mrs. Vong, our school counselor, Mr. Atkinson, a 5th grade teacher, and Mrs. Kapoor, the special day class teacher. Making Waves was created with the purpose of 5th grade general education students interacting with students in our Waves or special day class. The students in our Waves class are students with various special needs. Some are wheelchair bound and some have speech delays. No matter the disability, they are all students just like us. Now, what exactly happens during the time of Making Waves is exciting every day. What started out as a two-day week interaction has grown for most of us, even if it is just saying hi to our buddies in the hallway. We want others to see that the acceptance of all students is what we should strive for. Once a month, the Friendship Foundation provides us with a pizza party and any items needed for a fun activity. This coming month, we will have our monthly pizza party along with the bubble party. It has truly been an honor to be a part of this program, and what is more rewarding is that I was in the very first group. We helped create the model that many future Victor Vikings will continue to follow to make a difference in children's lives. Thank you. And I would like to give a special thanks to the teachers that helped create this, Mr. Atkinson, Mrs. Vong, and Mrs. Kapoor.
And Mr. Egan.
Thank you. So for tonight, representing Bertlin Middle School, 8th grader Sullivan Kalawaski. Also here for Bertlin is Principal Leroy Jackson.
Hello, my name is Sullivan Rose Kolakowski, and I'm the 8th grade president at Bertlin Middle School. Is there anyone in this room tonight that feels like they can use an extra 30 minutes in your day? Show of hands. Me too. And thank goodness I get an extra 30 minutes a day at Bertlin Middle School. We have a program at our school called Tutorial. Tutorial is 4 days a week, and it allows students an extra 30 minutes a day to read, do homework, go to another class for help, or attend a club meeting. Tutorial is the same time every day, so it allows students to prep ahead of time for what they need to get done. Most days, I use my tutorial to complete my homework, less homework at home. And the other day, I wasn't able to finish my science test, so I was able to get a tutorial pass to go back and take the exact same test the same day. You do have to prearrange getting a slip to leave your class during tutorial. I've even used my tutorial time to go to my math class. You see, I was struggling with this one math problem, and luckily, during tutorial time, I was able to go back and my math teacher was able to explain it to me. Tutorial time is a great way to get work done and to be efficient. In my opinion, having an extra 30 minutes a day is a great use of time to be productive and get homework done. It's really good time for students. And it's also not too much time to get into any trouble. So that's tutorial at Bertlin. Are there any questions?
No, thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to go to the oral communications part of this meeting, and as I get older, this stuff gets smaller. The Board of Education welcomes input from the public in order to discuss district business in an orderly manner for the privacy and safety of our speakers and to help staff respond more directly. The board policies require that public presentations of the board comply with certain procedures, including speakers to non-agenda items may address only items that are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. Time allotted for such presentations is limited to 3 minutes. Total time allotted for public input on non-agenda items is limited to a total of 30 minutes. A speaker may not relinquish his or her time to another when addressing the board. Speakers are requested to state their name, address, the president from the podium, and adhere to applicable time limits. Complaints against employees or students will normally be heard in closed session, and the district complaint procedure should be followed before discussion with the board. The board may remove disruptive individuals and order the room cleared if necessary. Any person who willfully disturbs the public school board meeting is guilty of a misdemeanor. God, that sounds way worse. So let's start with, I got some cards. Do we have anybody else? Okay, good. I'll call up first Jimmy Gow. Oh, that's a good way to get sympathy there. You show up with your crutches.
I came earlier in the month, in the rain, on my crutches, and that's the last time I'll ever look at your agenda schedule and not pay attention to the double asterisk on the schedule, because boy, oh boy. But thank you all for hearing me here. And I want to say good evening, President Lee and the honorable school board members, staff, and an impressive-sized audience. I've seen city council meetings that at times didn't have such a great turnout, so Thank you, everyone, for being here. Hi, James. So I'm Jimmy Gow from North Torrance, and I'm here as a representative of the Torrance Social Services Commission. Here to invite you and the Torrance education community to join us in participating in the 2019 city-sponsored toiletry drive from March 4th through 19th. And there are some handouts, flyers and stuff, and I got the little card there that will explain everything that I'm reading here too. And just a little aside, I have noticed, it must be like a school extra credit or something, that kids will go up and speak at oral communications at city council. And a couple of them rather recently said, what is the city doing to help the homeless? Fortunately, one of our Social Service Commission staff members was there and talked to them afterwards to let them know that anyone that is interested in what we're doing can join us on the 4th Thursday of the month for the Social Services Commission meeting. And we'd love to have input, especially from students. Good choice of glasses, by the way. So the commission is requesting your partnership of the TUSD schools in seeking donations of the following new, unopened, and unused items. We have to emphasize this. Last year, we didn't emphasize this. Of either full-size or travel size, 3-ounce travel size toiletry items such as shampoo, conditioner, body wash, bar soap, deodorant, body wipe, aka baby wipe or wet wipes, toothbrushes, toothpaste, feminine hygiene products, shaving cream or lotion, and razors. In addition, they can also use donations of new bath towels, but they do not need the single size hotel size. Maybe it's like an ounce or so, and usually you've used half of it and then just threw it. They don't need that. The service providers, that just doesn't work. The donation collection bins will be in place from Monday, March 4th through Tuesday, March 19th at the following locations: City Hall lobby, the Human Resources Personnel Building lobby, Torrance Police Department lobby, all Torrance Public Library branch lobbies, the Torrance Fire Department Station Number 1 only, Station Number 1 lobby. Donation drive benefits 4 local organizations: Harbor Interfaith, Family Promise of South Bay, 1736 Family Crisis Center, and Star Inc. Homes. For more information about the donation drive, the entire list is on the website at www.torranceca.gov/help-others. So that's the city website, and then /help-others is all one word, no space. We would appreciate your support in getting this information out to school principals, students, teachers, and PTAs in the TUSD. Anyone with questions can contact us at 310-618-5880 or email Social Services Commission, all one word, at torranceca.gov.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next up would be Angelica, I'm not getting it, M-A-Y, some letters, and Nettie Lado. I just completely blew that. I apologize.
Good evening, President Lee and fellow board members. My name's Angelica Mayanja. Nettie Leolo's here in support. I'm the school psychologist at Riviera Elementary and Launch Preschool, but I'm here representing the South Bay Association of School Psychologists. We have an upcoming event called Out of the Darkness Campus Walk to bring awareness to suicide prevention. It's an event, a family event, to bring hope to the community. It'll be on Saturday, March 23rd, 2019 at Torrance High School. We have scheduled to speak Assembly Member Al Muratsuki And also, Congressman Ted Lieu.
We know him.
We have Dr. Mimi Huang, psychologist representing or speaking on behalf or in her specialty for the LGBTQ community, and a clinical psychologist from Clear Recovery Center. We are offering service hours if students decide to volunteer. Registration is free for the event. If you happen to make a donation, a group donation, individual donation of $100, you can get a t-shirt. It is a fundraiser, and our goal is $10,000, and this monies go to bring awareness to suicide prevention, but we also have, we're doing it in collaboration with the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. So the monies go to field advocates to pursue policies in a federal level, to do research in terms to develop programs to bring prevention to suicide awareness, suicide survivor outreach programs, international survivors programs, and interactive screening programs. And I hope that this is a event to bring hope to the community. And to close this off, hashtag Hope Walks Here.
Can I ask one quick question?
Absolutely.
If someone wanted to make a donation, who would they make the check out to and where would they send it?
Yes, you can register free at South Bay, let me correct that, afsp.org/South Bay Campus. And the email you can reach us at is sbasp2017@outlook.com. I believe I've shared a flyer with you.
Well, there, I see it. Okay, great.
The check could also be made out to the American Foundation of Suicide
Good.
Prevention.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Dorothy Nirathor?
That's pretty close.
Oh, I did okay there.
Okay, this is a new experience for me, so I'm a little nervous. Good evening, everybody. I'm Dorothy Nitrower. I'm here on behalf of the weekend North High tennis players. It is our request that 3 more courts be made available on weekends and holidays. At present, there is only 3 courts available at this time. I have submitted, which I have here, or will submit to the board, a petition with signatures making this request. It is our wish that you will accommodate us. Originally, before the construction, there were 12 courts available. And since they've redone the tennis courts, there's 9. But why they're not opening, more, we feel 3 more courts would probably accommodate us. And the other 3 are closer to the construction, which is probably not a good idea at this time. I normally only play on Sunday mornings, and I generally play with a group which there's about 8 to 12 of us. That means we need 3 courts. So it's kind of inconvenience. We give up, if somebody comes, we do give up a court. We don't like to give up more than 2 courts. Anyway, I hope you will accommodate us. I feel it's our tax-paying money that's supporting the schools, and we feel like we shouldn't be shorted. So I want to thank you for your time. Thank you very much. And I don't know who
Dr. Mannon, where are we with the tennis courts and everything at North High right now?
I don't know.
Mr. Egan, Dr. Stowe, okay.
All 9 courts are done at North.
Yeah, all the courts are done. And when you were closed, we went to West High, and then West High started to redo theirs. So we ended up at Redondo Beach High School. So
Who would she contact to see about having more courts opened?
Either Mr. Scheck, the principal, or Kim Till, who's the site
Yeah,
supervisor, but Mr. Egan and/or I will follow up.
yeah, the name Till was given to me, and I had planned to submit it, go to the high school because I live right over there. But I didn't know what her title was, and I didn't feel comfortable and I had gone over there before they opened any of the courts, and then shortly right after they opened 3 of the courts, and I was told to call Till, and I never got a response back. So
Okay, can you give your information to Mr. Egan and he can follow up with you? Just your name, phone number and stuff, and we can follow up with that. Thank you very much. Oh, it's on the request. Okay, it's all right here. Okay, we're good. Great, okay. We tried. Okay, good. We are now, oh, wait a minute. We got all the cards, no more oral communications. So we're good there, and we are now on to discussion action items. Instruction of the public, speakers wishing to address the board on agenda items. Topics are permitted 3 minutes per topic. Total time granted to the public shall be limited to 30 minutes per topic. The board policies require that public presentations to the board comply with certain procedures, including items 2 through 4 listed under oral communications. The first item is the California School Boards Association's Delegate Assembly election ballot. And policy in the past has been, we've all stared at Terry, and she's told us what we should do.
Actually, I have to
It's worked for
say
10 years.
that for the past, actually 6 months, our meetings have coincided with the LAXTA meeting, so I have not attended to even know who the delegates are, which they're normally at LAXTA. So that's where I meet them. So
Okay,
I
let's
don't
not-
have any input at
So
this
let's
point,
just defer
sorry.
it. We don't have to vote.
You do not.
So is that okay? Just defer it? No action? Unless somebody likes somebody there? Okay, good. Okay, good. You really were.
No, there's
Okay.
information about them.
So,
The incumbents are fine.
okay, so do we want to make a decision? Jeremy?
Did you have individuals you prefer?
Based on the available information, I did come up with a list of, because I figured you'd ask us to vote like we did in the past. But
Good. Your 3 will take your lead.
all right. Let me pull up my list.
Does anybody else have favorites?
I would offer that the 3 incumbents would be fine to continue. Daryl Adams, Jan Baird, and Satra Zunita. And actually, I do kind of know Margie Garrett from Compton. And she's a fairly local person we could get a hold of if we needed.
Okay. That's 3. How many we vote?
That's 4, actually.
So,
Daryl, Jan, Satra, and Dora. Or, I mean, Margie.
Ernie Nishi reached out to us, I think. I'm not sure if you received that email about running for a delegate seat. And so I think he made a
I don't think I got
proactive
that one.
effort to reach out, well, at least to me. And so,
He, if I recall, he has a Juris Doctorate degree.
yes.
He's the president of ABC. He seems very qualified.
Yes. So
Okay.
I would recommend him as well.
Okay, good. So now we have 4.
No,
No,
I had
5.
4.
Oh, so we're up to 4.
No, 3 incumbents plus
Oh,
Margie Garrett plus
Haranubu.
Ernie Nishi, yeah.
Koronubu Ernie Nishi.
What about Zarita?
So we got 5, and we need one more.
What about Zarita?
Yes, Satra.
Sarita is incumbent. We named her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're
So
so
the
good. We
incumbents?
still have, one of these years, we're going to get this.
We've got 5.
Margie Garrett, plus Nishi.
Good.
It's East Whittier versus Norwalk.
Like the first 4 names already.
Perfect.
Plus the last one.
I would add Christine.
Good,
Christine Sullivan.
good. We got a motion. Somebody make it. Mr. Hahn made it.
I make a motion
Yeah.
to nominate these candidates.
I second it.
Good. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks.
Actually, to vote for those candidates, right? That's our vote. And who's our voting member? Dr. Manning? Yes.
Where am I going and when? Okay, good. Okay, that's perfect.
Yeah, no, I think it coincides with the meeting again. We can't go to the next one. Yeah, yeah.
God, what? Okay,
I
good. Approval of proposed board policies and board bylaw updates, the December 18th revisions.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate the bylaws updates. I move to approve the revisions and waive second reading.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Approval of the Torrance Unified School District CSEA Chapter 845 Collective Bargaining Agreement. I need a motion and a second, and then we'll go to Dr. Stowe.
I'll motion to accept.
Dr. Stowe.
Need a second?
Yeah, second.
The Chapter 845, we concluded negotiations with them, and I'll just speak to the second one as well, or the fourth item, Chapter 19. We negotiated in the summer and fall with both of these classified unions and came to agreement on November 8th with 845 and September 26th with Chapter 19. Just agreeing basically to some basic terms and language changes that are attached in these items. Both of them have been ratified by the membership of these respective groups, and then that's why we bring them to you, the board, for approval tonight.
Thank you. On item 10.4, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, item 10.5, I need a motion and a second.
Motion.
For CSEA Chapter 19 Collective Bargaining Agreement.
Motion to accept.
I second.
Good. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good. Anybody that wants to leave now is more than welcome to leave, but you can stay to the end if you want to. Now, all those kids have to stay to the end because they put this off towards the end of the semester. So we're going to make it really long. Consent agenda, anybody?
No, they're early.
Are they early?
They're not procrastinators, that's great.
They're not? No, they're not like my kids. So,
Yeah.
congratulations. Do we want to do consent as one motion?
Now, can we do it separately, because I have a couple of
Okay,
sections
good, okay,
on
so
it.
let's start with general function consent items 12.
No, nothing to pull.
So we're going to make a motion to approve all of those.
So moved?
Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, item number 13, elementary consent.
Move to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
First and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Secondary consent.
No, move to approve?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Educational services consent items?
Yeah.
Mrs. Reagan.
Sorry. So I would like to have us look at 15.4, .5, .6, and .7.
Well, we can do that right now.
Want to do that first, or vote on the other
Yeah,
ones?
let's do that first.
Okay, actually, 15.4 is approval of the plan for use of the low-performing students block grant funds. I think that's kind of a new product for us, and I wanted to have Katie speak to that.
Yes, thank you. This is one-time monies that were in the June budget from the governor that provided us funding for students that we don't typically receive money for. Our supplemental funding gives us money, as you know, for our low-income students, our English learners, our foster youth, and our LCAP our single plans that, or single plan for student achievement that our schools do, respond to how they're going to help those students. This money is for all other students, regardless of a program that they may or may not be in, that provides schools or provides the district the opportunity to get funding to help all students that are low performing, that may need assistance, for our schools.
But they can't double dip, right?
They cannot double dip, and special education was excluded from the funding formula that we use. So after speaking with multiple groups and taking a look at who these students are, and as both Dr. Kim and Mr. Egan and I have been going around to different school sites doing our LCAP visits, it becomes really clear that there are a lot of varying differences from site to site. And so the recommendation in front of you is that the school sites receive actually all of the funding in 3 different ways, but so that school sites can best determine how to help those students that are not already receiving the funding that need additional assistance.
When you say 3 different ways, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, so the recommendation is that the bulk of the money, 65%, will go straight to the school sites for in exact percent of the number of students that are low performing, that are already not receiving that supplemental funding. We also have a need. Another one-time monies are going away for our college and career monies that our high schools have received, and they've been doing very successful college weeks and college visits for our unrepresented students. And so the recommendation is for funding to continue. This funding can be used through the June 30th, 2021. And so it would allow 2 more years of funding for the high schools to continue the college-going culture efforts that they've been doing. And then lastly, there's a 10% of monies being recommended for other innovative ideas that school sites could write to, for like a one-page kind of mini grant application, if you will. It was recommended that because some sites may not get a lot of this funding, that they may have areas of need that they could write in addition to the funding that they received. So the recommendation was to set a small amount, 10% aside. So those are 3 different ways that are recommended for the funding, although 100% of this money is then being distributed directly out to school sites.
These funds are a result of Shirley Weber's bill last year, which we supported. Dr. Weber is from San Diego and has tried for several years to point out that there are some inequities the way the supplemental funds were decided upon about who should receive supplemental funds when there are other students who are not achieving, who don't meet any of those requirements because they're not English language learners, or they're not from foster youth, or they're not under a free and reduced lunch. So this is a direct result of her bill from last year.
I think it's great because it brings more funds to us to be able to really address each individual student and their needs at each individual school. So anything that brings more resources for our kids.
Just out of curiosity, how are they going to manage that, I guess? Because it's so hard not to double dip, right? Because you have, how do they identify those students? Is there a mechanism or a?
Absolutely. So we utilize a kind of a data management system. It's called School City, and it has filters in it. So we've actually already given them this information of who those students are, and that were low performing and not already in the category of receiving the funds. So schools have had that information and been looking at this since December.
With that, I move to approve.
We'll just do them all at the same time.
Oh, okay.
15-5.
Actually, 15.5, 6, and 7 are all related and have to do with an upcoming GATE Parent Conference. And I think it's just a little bit of a different twist on that GATE Parent Conference that we have been doing for the last few years. That, again, I wanted Dr. Crumpy to speak to.
Yeah, so this year, although not a formal theme, there's an enrichment through technology kind of spiraling of information and different sessions that will be given. We've had the same very popular keynote, Dr. Burt, for the past couple of years. This is actually a colleague who has done work with him in the past, who does a lot of work around enrichment with our high achieving students and how they can express themselves creatively through the use of technology. And so he will be, so one of the items is to approve the conference. The second item is to approve the keynote speaker, that he will also be doing breakout sessions during the conference. And finally, there's a Rube Goldberg student design session that will be done that kind of goes through the innovation theme that's running through the conference. And that's the third one that you see, what was the, yes, for the 2-bit circus. It's not a circus, and it's actually an innovation design session that the students will be exposed to during the conference.
Cool. Actually, I liked this set of things because it actually contrasts with the previous one. There are special things that we're doing for the low-performing students, and this is an additional resource that we're bringing to the GATE students. So we're really trying to be careful to make sure we address every student and their needs. Okay?
Good, okay. Good. Then
So
I'll take a
move
motion
to approve all.
Good, second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Human Resources, 16. Motion second?
Make a motion to approve all 16, 1 through 4.
Second?
Oh, second.
Okay.
Sorry.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Item number 17.
May I request to take out 17.6?
Good, pull it now. Okay,
And it's a proof of an agreement with Sonoma Technology for air monitoring project at 4 district sites. I'm very much into clean air, and a lot of people know I'm very much into environment. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Sure. Thank you for the question. This is a project that is funded through the AQMD. I believe they received a grant for that, and we are working with the city of Torrance and the researchers that are gathering the air monitoring. And so what we're doing basically is just housing a small trailer on 4 different locations, 4 different schools that they've identified. Ian Kempton, our Director of Maintenance Operations, has been working with the principals at those schools to make sure that they're not intrusive. They're small, maybe like 15 by 15 trailers. Part of the agreement for the grant is that they pay for all of the utilities and install of these things, and they even provide some hardware and data that could be used by students in researching things. We're not quite sure what that all might entail, but that's something that we would look at in the next couple of years. The agreement, I believe, is for 24 months that they will have these locations on site, and it's Torrance Elementary, West High,
At Jefferson Middle School and North High.
Jefferson North.
And Aquatic Center.
Well, that's Torrance Elementary. It's kind of right, that little space behind the Aquatic Center and Torrance Elementary.
So it's 15 by 15. It'll be slightly, I'm sure it won't be like an eyesore.
They've
right?
identified locations on each campus.
They have or they haven't?
They have.
Okay.
And in the parking lot at one school and kind of in the corner at another. So, and we've been working with the principals for this project.
and it just monitors air quality?
It just monitors air quality. Again, we're not.
One at Jefferson?
We're just assisting with AQMD and
Cigar smoke.
and
From you.
and the city.
I think it's a wonderful program, and thank you for allowing that to happen and to have AQMD come in to monitor our air. I think there's no loss to it, so thanks.
Mrs. Reagan's.
Actually, I wanted to pull 17.10, 0.11, 0.12, and have our IT gurus speak to those, because they all have to do with improvements and additions, perhaps, to our current technology.
Yes, Ms. Reagan's. Good evening. So let me go over each one, and I'll try to do them quickly. 17.10 is to actually renew a current contract we have with Crown Castle. The 10-year contract was over, and
10 years already.
it's essentially these are the circuits that connect the schools back to actually my floor up above us. And we have 10 gigabit circuits that provide internet access out to the school. So all those circuits congregate over here. So going out to bid again, Crown Castle won, and it's funded out of E-rate. 50% is funded E-rate, 50% is base grant, and we're saving about we're going from about $13,000 a month to $11,500 a month.
Nice.
You gotta. It seems like pocket change, but it's something.
Oh, it counts.
I could use
We'll
the
take it,
$1,500 a
yeah.
month upstairs all the time. So that's that one. The single mode fiber cabling infrastructure, we're looking to replace 115,000 feet of fiber in our schools. If you recall, I can barely recall, but in the late 90s and early 2000s, I believe we had Measure R that brought in what we call multi-mode OM1 fiber, and it doesn't carry the speed that we need these days because it only carries about 1 gigabits per second. Now, as you know, as we bring in more devices into the schools, we need the 10 gig connections within the school itself because we're carrying video, a lot of data, and of course, voice over IP. So to give you an example, South High School is a large campus. It has 20 runs, 20 connections between all the buildings back to the main office, right? So we're converting those from multi-mode to single mode. And so that contract will also be covered 50% with E-rate money because the FCC charges us that universal service fee, so it's subsidized through the Schools and Library Division. And that 50% is based off of our free and reduced lunch count, by the way. So some districts, my former district and Hawthorne, I got 90% off of everything, so
Wow.
it was good times. Still good times here, but at 50% rate of
Yes.
good times. The last piece is the uninterruptible power supply equipment. These are the batteries that run in the closets to keep the equipment protected and gives you about 15 minutes to 30 minutes of runtime in case of a power outage. We spec'd out, there's some new technology. We're going to go with lithium batteries this time instead of the lead acid batteries, and the life expectancy of these should be 10 years. If you recall, we put in the new network in 2014, 2015 with the older technology batteries, and they're dying at a rapid rate right now, so we're having to replace them quickly. So whenever something goes down, it's usually because the battery went bad. We've got to pull it out. So this gives us an opportunity again with the E-rate money to replace all of this, and I'm crossing my fingers. They really do last 10 years as advertised. So,
That's the best out there right now, within reasonable cost.
yes, they do cost a little more,
Yes.
but because they'll last longer,
Exactly.
it'll benefit us.
Just out of curiosity, how long is it going to take to replace the fiber network, fiber cables?
So that will take, for a campus like South High, that could be anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
Right? So we're going to have to do a lot of coordination.
Yes.
What's the window, the timing is all based on when we receive the funding commitment decision letter from the FCC that says, all right, you got the money, go ahead and do the work. You know, the easy part is filing all of this and going out to bid. The hard part is now getting the contractors in, scheduling the work, and hitting their milestones so that we don't interrupt. We have to do it kind of in parallel with the network. We have to keep services up and running because we have some services, summer school, Jumpstart at some of these schools during the summer. So we have to make sure that none of those services go down while we're replacing the fiber.
So your goal is post-summer, before the end of the year?
We set it at 5 years. I hope it doesn't take 5 years.
5
For
years?
the contract, no.
Oh.
But the window for when we can use the money is about 5 years. But we're hoping within if we can get started early in the summer, if we get the letter in the spring, which is normally when they send them out, then we get cracking first of the summer as soon as we can, and then hopefully be done by the fall. But we have to wait for the letter, so.
But the E-rate is certainly serving us well.
Yeah, and we get E-rate money now for Crown Castle, and it also pays for our AT&T circuits. So your phone lines, your PRI lines, your your Centrex lines, they cover that now, so they cover 50% of the bill.
Cool.
Thank you. I need a motion and a
Move
second
to approve.
for all of 17.
Yes.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, good. 18. Motion second.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Done. We got to the end.
19.
We
Board
are
calendar.
there. The board calendar is attached. Revisions to administrative regs are attached. Williams' reporting requirements are attached. Everybody's got a book. It's a small bit of humor between my wife and I. Report to the board from SoCal Rock from Mrs. Reagan's.
I have not had a meeting since we last met. In fact, it's on Thursday of this week.
Good, okay.
So-
Other comments from the board?
I have a few things if...
Mrs. Reagan's.
I wanted to take a moment to identify some classified employees' anniversaries, folks who have put in lots of time and service for our students. For 15 years of accredited service, we have Deborah Solano, Monica Farrell, Rainey Felton, Martin Godinez, and Shilpa Totlani. For 20 years of service, we have Orlino David. It's an interesting, I forget that's his real name. It's Orly, we know him as Orly. Carla Pippin and Madali Romali. So thank you for working with our students and keeping them safe and fed and transported, et cetera, et cetera. I do want to point out that on the consent part of our agenda, we did approve a resolution proclaiming March 2019 as National Women's History Month. Go Girl Power, there's a lot of you out there, thanks. Thanks for being here tonight. And I did want to say there's a resolution proclaiming March 2019 is Arts Education Month. And that's something near and dear to my heart, having taught art at our schools for a while for Adventures in Art. And last but not least, I did want to mention that one of the things that's on the agenda is actually another new thing coming to our district, which is an International Festival Day at Towers Elementary School, only because I was somewhat involved in creating that and making sure that they had an opportunity to bring it to our students. So it will be a day when a variety of diverse parents will be bringing cultural experiences to our students at that school. So I appreciate the folks at Towers for having done that and brought that to our kids. I did want to mention too, Rotary is helping to fund that for us so that it doesn't cost district funds either. So that was it. Thank you.
Mrs. Lou.
I just want to say congratulations again to West High School's academic decathlon team. Number one in LA County. I believe this is the 13th or 14th time that West High School have gotten number one in LA County. And it will move on to compete in Sacramento in late March for the state championship in academic decathlon. But I definitely do want to also mention that our other high schools, North High School, Torrance High School, South High Schools, they all did very well also. They just were not number one, but they ranked pretty highly. And they're improving better and better every year, so congratulations to all our high school students who are involved with the academic decathlon. And thank you very much to the coaches who spent incredible amount of energy and time for them too. So, thank you.
Anything else?
I'll go. Well, and since you're talking about what West High did, my daughter and I drove to Irvine last weekend and we watched the girls' water polo team, and my daughter said that even though we didn't get the win, she said it was very exciting and she loved seeing it, and I'm hoping she'll want to get into the pool. And I will be there this weekend to watch the West High boys soccer team, which will be at El Segundo at 5 p.m. So, are you guys going to be in it? good luck. I'll be there rooting you on.
Okay.
And one more thing that I should have pointed out when 16.2 was going, Dr. Liberati district is hiring at least 15 new substitute teachers, which I know is a concern. So that's more into the pool. So, thank you.
Good. Good. We got a bunch of kids back there, so here's how we're going to handle this. You all have a piece of paper that we're supposed to sign. Everybody up here can sign those. So you're going to come up as soon as I adjourn the meeting, and we're going to get all those signed quickly, and it'll be orderly. Including all those people down there, maybe not Jason. Maybe Jason can. Jason can do it. So have Jason sign all of them. That would be better. Okay. See,
Number one task.
We want you to feel like you're involved. So that's it.
That's
So,
yes, there you go. That's a good one.
so good. Yes,
That's
I am
true.
worried. So I want to make a motion to adjourn in memory of retired adult school instructional aide Shirley Hogan and retired math and life management teacher Mary Kay Hedge.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. We are. Come on up, guys.
Bye, Mary Kay.